Folks, we made it. Felder Friday edition, week 0 of College Sports Now, and the whole gang has assembled. Michael Felder at In the Bleachers, new college football analyst. Well, he's not a new college football analyst, but he's got a new gig with Tar Heel 24/7. Did I get that right?
You got it right.
College football analyst, Tar Heel 24/7. You'd love to see it. Trip Hurd, the Lock of Docs, with us for the next hour and a half. There will not be, at least by I'm not ready to give any official picks. There are no 3-for-all picks. There are week 0 games.
Oh,
but
wow.
For all intents and purposes.
There's no That's My Dog?
There's no That's My Dog this week.
Oh, wow.
So I do have records from last week. I mean, listen, if you guys want to dip your toe in these 5 games this week, if you feel that confident, you are welcome to. I'm going to save it for week 1, which is absolutely loaded. We got a lot to get to. Boys, it is great to see you. Quick mental health check on Friday, August 22nd. How's everybody feeling? Trip, we start with you.
I'm worn out, man.
You're
but
worn out.
I'm glad to be here, though. This is the part we get to look forward to. So I think I might have a pick or two for you.
Well, that's good. You just wrapped up the Phil Steele show, which is on the College Sports Now feed. There's actually, folks, there's a lot going on the College Sports Now feed. Roddy Jones and I did a Big 12 preview earlier this week with our boy Shahan Jayaraja from CBS Sports. Felder, I know you're a huge fan of Shahan.
Yeah, I am.
He covers the league better than anybody, frankly.
So
we did a deep dive on the Big 12. That's in there. We've got SEC's Battle for Atlanta on the feed that aired on Sirius XM last night. If you're interested, you want to go back and listen to me and Tony Barnhart chopping it up. Trip Hurd made his Phil Steele debut with David Kahn. That's in the feed from yesterday. Those guys broke down some week 0 games against the spread. There were some, would you guys get into like some team totals and some Heisman stuff too, Trip? Y'all had a good time.
We had a great show. All 5 games. We got Phil's angle on week 0. Then we did some team totals, talked about some conference winners, and talked a little Heisman as well.
I love that. And I know Felder's a huge fan of the Heisman Trophy, one of his favorite things to talk about during the college football season. You can interact with the show on Twitter, X, at CS Now Tweets. We are also on YouTube. If you are so inclined to see our show, to watch it, you can search College Sports Now. My understanding is, and I'm not one of these people, but a lot of folks like have YouTube open like during their workday, and it's just like on in the background.
Yeah.
What a time to be alive. You love to see it. So it's great. Felder, how are you doing? Mental health check, buddy. Friday morning, rather. How you holding up?
I mean, I'm fine.
You sound tired.
I am tired. I got to drive to Cary.
Why are you going to Cary tonight?
We got a live show.
What kind of live show?
Hand in the Dirt, the Garden podcast about football. We got a live show that we're going to do at Bond Brothers East Side.
East Side.
And so I have to drive to Cary. My daughter starts school on Monday.
Let's go.
My wife's gone back to work as well. So everybody, but like, here's the thing. In theory, the start of the college football season should be paramount. It is not. In my house currently, I am ranking at about number 5, and I only have 2 other people that live here.
Yeah.
I might say 6th because it's like kid, wife, kid school, wife's school, pool, then me. Anything I have going on, even though I started, as you mentioned, another job.
Yeah.
And have stuff going on, I'm still very much at the bottom.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's relatable.
Yeah.
I too know what it's like to be ranked dead ass last in your own household when it comes to magnitudes of importance, things that deserve time, energy, attention, affection. I absolutely
literally
100%.
Literally today, I'm restarting my computer to make sure that everything, like the headphones are plugged in and the mic's working and all this. And my kid goes, "Hey, and when you make my lunch, can you put it in my new lunchbox? I want to try it out." And I was like, "You know what? Yes, I will."
Oh, so we're doing a dry. We're doing like a dress rehearsal for the Monday school lunch today.
Yes, we are.
It's kind of a pro move, actually.
Yeah, so we're doing that. Can we just talk about some football stuff?
Yeah, so let's jump into it. I do want to set the table for our listeners. Chris Phillips from SEC Unfiltered is going to be stopping by here in about 20 minutes. SEC Unfiltered is all over social media. I had a chance to interact with them briefly down at Media Days in Atlanta in July. But Chris covers the league, and we're going to run through what I still consider, and I know there's Big Ten folks out there that are like, nah, son, we've won the last 2 natties, but I'm sorry. I still am pretty comfortable in my position that the SEC is the best football conference in America. And if you want to at me, if you want to say, Hartzell, you're full of it, what have you done for me lately? Like, I'm going to direct you to the NFL draft. Like, I just
right.
And not just last year, the last 20 years, frankly.
Right, every year.
I don't think it's close. I really don't. Is there dead weight at the bottom of the SEC? Absolutely. Is there dead weight at the bottom of the Big Ten and the ACC and the Big 12 and every conference in America? 100%. But I think this is a fascinating league with fascinating storylines, which we will jump into here with Chris when he joins us in about 20 minutes. We do have the Felder 5, which we will get to, kind of an SEC theme to the Felder 5. But, fellas, let's start with the news that broke on Thursday afternoon. I swear to God, as much as I love college football, this sport sometimes just cannot get out of its own way when it comes to promoting the things that it's doing. The Southeastern Conference on Thursday, 2 days before the start of the college football season, announces that starting in 2026, they're going to move to a 9-game conference schedule, joining the Big Ten and the Big 12 as leagues that play 9 conference games. Felder, you know the ACC's coming. They're next. They're going to have to move from their 8-game conference schedule to 9. But, Felder, what'd you make of the SEC's announcement on Thursday that they're going to start playing 9 conference games?
I think this is everybody is putting it as this like idea that they're trying to follow the Big Ten. I think this is just pure money, dude. I'm cynical about that, but I think it's pure money. And by that, I mean, like, incest isn't the right word, but I think it's the word I'm going to use. It's like, if we can just keep giving each other money, we can keep staying richer than other people. And I think that's the way that it works, right? Like, this is, maybe the right word might be nepotism. I don't know. But what I'm saying is, if they cut out somebody else, a non-league game, then they play, this is just a home and home with somebody else in your own league, right?
Well, and I haven't read the specifics of this in terms of the number, like the value, but I'm assuming that Disney, ESPN, ABC, SEC Network, is compensating SEC schools because they split the pie evenly amongst the 16 of them for the extra conference game. Like,
exactly.
In other
That's
words,
what I'm saying.
They're kicking in more money, and with that means those guarantee games where, like, Georgia plays Mercer, and Mercer gets $1.3 million or whatever. I'm making this stuff up, but that trickle-down economics
That's what I'm saying.
College football goes away in exchange for Georgia getting an extra SEC game.
Right. And so what does that do? Like let's think about it in these terms. I'm not even thinking about it in terms of Disney. Georgia gets to have, I don't know, A&M, LSU. They get to have, come to Athens. That's more money for the entire town, right?
Sure.
And then you flip it over, and A&M gets to have Georgia, or they get to have LSU, or they get to have Alabama, or they get to have Tennessee. That's more money for College Station. That's what I'm saying when I look at this. It's not just the TV money. Right. It's also you have a game that people are going to care about.
Restaurants, hotels, parking.
Bingo. And that's what I'm looking at when I see this.
Which is a big deal because, I mean, life in the SEC, dude, some of these towns, like during the summer, obviously school's back, so the kids are back. But on Saturdays, when you have 100,000 people going,
Yeah, they
to College
become the
Station,
biggest. They become one of the biggest. Like literally, Tuscaloosa becomes one of the biggest towns in Alabama.
dude. One of my good friend's daughters is a freshman at Tuscaloosa in Alabama this year.
Oh
And
wow!
the behind the scenes stuff that I have been seeing and hearing about, she got into the whole sorority thing.
I was going to say the rush
scene, how you have to get there early, like you get in the stadium and you open up the envelope, the whole thing, dude. That is a part of SEC like lifestyle culture I
that
knew
people
nothing
do not
about.
understand.
Frankly, I'm grateful that I didn't have to know anything about that. That sounds like an awful, just extremely stressful situation. She
Yeah,
got
you
her
gotta
bid,
you gotta learn
good for her.
choreography.
Bro, the
like-
outfits, like
Yeah.
just like all that stuff. And y'all are girl dads. That might be y'all one day. Who knows? Both of y'all.
Yeah,
Trip,
we'll see.
Trip, you're shaking your head, buddy. That's going to be you in about 10 years, man.
I've got a long ways to go, so I'm not gonna think about that just yet.
Isn't it? Let me throw this out to both of you guys because y'all covered ACC Media Days in Charlotte. Could I spin this as a good thing for college football, for the sport of college football, that we're trending towards an organization where all this stuff is being standardized in terms of, yes, the Big 12, ACC, SEC, Big 10, they're not equals, but they're all still playing they will be in the future, I'm assuming the ACC joins the party, a 9-game conference slate. Isn't that a good thing? Could I spin it that way?
Are we already kind of past that though?
I think it's
because it's kind of a 2-conference world we're living in now, and everybody else is kind of second rate. Like, do you think the SEC coaches are happy about this?
No. My understanding was that was the holdup, was that the SEC coaches
Exactly.
were not thrilled, that did not want this.
They did
going
not.
to a 9-game conference.
Well, here's the thing: if you are Florida, Georgia, why would you be happy about this?
South Carolina
as well.
Because you've already kind of got it. You've had it with your ACC end of season rival. Yeah.
Right. So now what we're looking at is South Carolina's going to play 9 SEC games.
Plus Clemson.
So that's 10 games. We know that they're going to play, whether it's the Citadel or it's South Carolina State or who at Furman. We know they're going to do that. So they have one more thing, which is probably going to be something through Disney, right? It's going to be they're playing Virginia Tech, right? So if this was this year, they'd be playing Virginia Tech, add one more SEC game, plus Clemson.
Yeah, there'd only be room for the one FCS team.
Right.
That's it. Everything else is booked.
And I think that is state mandated that they play those teams.
Yeah, state legislator in South Carolina mandates that. Yeah.
Yeah. So in Georgia also, they're like, hey, man, we talked to Haynes King, Trip. Like, that dude's ready. And he's a dude for real.
That'll be a game.
Real quick on that, I know this is our SEC preview. Tech opens the season at Colorado next Friday night, a week from today.
I know.
All my homies,
They're
whole
going?
squad is going to Boulder.
Nice.
And the FOMO that I'm experiencing when they're talking about going to Folsom Field, going to Rocky Mountain National Park,
flying into Denver.
Yeah.
Flying in it, just that whole experience. Like,
I was in Denver a week ago.
Not a great airport. Big airport.
It's a humongous airport.
Second largest airport in the world in terms of size. We looked this up. Yes.
So no, it's they're gonna have a good time. But no, like if you're Georgia, who do they open the season with?
Marshall.
Okay, well that's good for them.
Yeah. It's not going to be good for Marshall.
But it's like, think about the times they've opened the season with Clemson.
Right.
And then you go from that, and then you open the season with Clemson, and then you close with Georgia Tech. Then you add another SEC game. So I see kind of, I'm not trying to both sides it, but I understand why the coaches were pushing back.
Yeah.
Because they're like Florida, if you open the season with like Miami, you still have to play Florida State at the end of the year.
Well, I mean, that's a cakewalk. We know that's not going to be a problem.
Easy.
Hey.
And so Do you
What you got, Trip?
you think
I just wonder how long it's going to be before we're trying to, discuss a 6-6 team from the SEC needing to be in the college football playoff, because
I hope we don't get there.
It'll happen.
I hope we don't get there.
It'll
happen if Petiti gets his way and we've got the 26 team field. I don't think we're getting that far.
Right.
So we'll get Chris.
Hang on.
Go ahead.
All I'm saying is that I can see both sides of the coin, because these coaches are not going to like it, but the money's there, and the money's going to be there, and not just the money again from Disney, the money for your entire town. You support this entire ecosystem. I mean, it's like I guess at the end of the day, we have to figure out which one matters more. And obviously for the conference that says it just means more, you're going to have to figure out what means more.
Yeah.
And I guess they've figured out that money means more.
We will get Chris Phillips' take when he joins us here. Chris is with SEC Unfiltered, and he'll stop by in about 10 minutes. But he had a comment about bending the knee to the Big Ten, which I think a lot of SEC fans might relate to, which is like, I can't believe that this finally happened, and it happened in the way in which it did. But I'm going to spin this forward. My bigger thing, frankly, like as much as I am kind of excited by the news, I don't need this news to break 2 days before the start of the season. Like, let's focus on these games. Which, with that said, looking at the Week 0 slate, gentlemen, I got 5 games on the docket. Felder, your excitement for what's coming at us starting on Saturday at high noon in Dublin, Ireland. What do we think?
I mean, it'll be on. I'm driving back from Cary that day, so it'll be on. I'm not super pumped about it. Just to be fair.
Iowa State, Kansas State, Big 12 game to start the season?
I'm not are you super pumped about it?
Yeah.
About what?
I just think these are two Big 12 contenders. So
I agree with that. I agree with that. I just don't – I'm not because what is it? K-State's a favorite?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I will watch it. It will be on. Yes, absolutely. I'm not –
Rocco Becht, Avery Johnson, good quarterback matchup. These guys are old.
We'll see. Are you worried at all about Rocco Becht? I mean, you talk about a guy. So first off, him and Avery Johnson, very, very different quarterbacks. I think everybody seems to like Johnson more because he can run. If you look at their stats from last year, they're identical. 25 touchdowns, 9 picks for one, 10 picks for the other guy.
Picks.
Rocco Becht, this is a big year for that guy because nobody lost more at the receiver position than Iowa State. Those guys didn't get talked about enough, but Jaden Higgins was a second-round pick. Apparently they love him in Houston right now. He's doing really well. Mm-hmm. And the other guy was good too. Jalen Noel, yes. I believe was the other receiver there. Lost 2 really good receivers, so I don't know. I think this could be kind of a more of a defensive game. I was kind of looking at the under in this game because it's up at 49.5, and I think it's got 17-14 written all over it.
I am far more excited about Fresno State, Kansas.
Why? Let's talk about that.
When I look at Kansas and what's his name?
Jalen Daniels?
Yeah, dude, I can't. We got into it last year already with the Jalen, Talon, Caden. Yes. Jalen Daniels. I like him. I think it should be his last year.
I looked at that too. I made a joke like, hey, this is Jalen Daniels' 9th year at Kansas. He's 22 years old. So apologies to Jalen Daniels. At 22, you're allowed to still be in college.
No, I just was like, it seems like he's been there forever.
Yeah, it does.
And so I think Fresno State, I think they always have this little knack for being sneaky good. So I'm looking forward to watching that. What's the number on that one?
13?
13. Yeah.
13? Okay.
Kansas has got the renovated stadium too, right? Like last year they were playing at Arrowhead. They were
Yes.
playing at the Kansas City soccer stadium. Like
So they
where
get a
the
chance.
MLS team played. So that place will like legitimately be
They should be excited.
probably the best home environment of the week 0 slate when you consider
Yeah.
Iowa State, Kansas State's
yeah.
in Dublin. Although Stanford, Hawaii.
Yeah. I was
Like-
going to.
Hawaii is a small stadium. You got an ACC team going. Like that place was rocking last year when UCLA visited. Remember?
Yeah.
Bruins barely got out of there alive.
Stanford is an underdog in this game.
That's correct.
Yes.
And let's be honest. If you're ranking Power 4 schools, Stanford is at or near the bottom. It's probably Stanford and Purdue.
Good
in
chance
terms of the
Stanford.
worst Power 4 schools.
Good chance they're an underdog in every single game they play this season.
God, that's brutal.
Imagine if you're Andrew Luck and you're like, I don't know what his title is. Is he the GM or is he
Yeah.
like, okay.
Yeah.
Like he's got to watch this. And he's like, I mean, the guy was an incredible college player. This is gonna be tough.
He's mad
Tough.
small now.
Yeah, he's lost a lot
He's
of weight.
thin. Yeah, he's very thin.
Mad small. I mean, who am I to talk though?
I mean, you've lost close to 100 pounds.
Over.
Over 100 pounds?
Yeah.
It's incredible, man.
Yeah, he's
You've
mad
got a whole
small.
part of the closet that's just like
Can't do nothing with it.
doesn't even get used.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to give these clothes away.
You should.
I am. I have a bag full of them in my storage room.
You getting? By the way, are you getting your steps in before the show tonight?
Yeah.
I need to make sure.
Yeah, of course.
Need to make sure you're not cranky when I see you.
No, I'll be
hours.
good. I'm gonna be in a good mood.
Hey, buddy, I'm in the same boat. Like I need to get my exercise. I'm not a very enjoyable person to be around if I'm not getting mine.
Yeah.
On the exercise front.
I will make sure I get my steps in. Oh, by the way, made ice cream with my kid yesterday.
What flavor?
Cookies and cream.
So walk me through this. It's vanilla ice cream and you just added Oreos? Like
Not Oreos. At the wedding, we were gifted. They gave us like a welcome bag,
okay.
and they had these vegan chocolate fudge cookies. And so my wife was like, "We won't." She's like, "What is this? We could just throw this away." And I was like, "Well, at least try it." And she tried.
By her.
She tried it, and she was like, "This is actually good." I was like, "You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna chop these up. I'll put them in some ice cream." So my kid and I made ice cream. Then we put that in there. So now we've got cookies and cream ice cream because they were good. They were actually good.
I love it.
Yeah. How much time do we have?
Chris is going to be hopping in a couple minutes. You got some stuff on the Felder 5 if you want.
Here's what I want to do. Can we just say shout out to Michael Serber, who said that kids don't care about headphones, and then Lenora Sellers gifted. This is number 5. Lenora Sellers gifted the entire team Beats from his NIL.
Saw the
Oh, that's
video.
not good. DJU did that last year.
Dylan Gabriel did it last year
Sonoma.
too. Dylan
Oh,
Gabriel.
did he? Okay.
Beats has
Yeah.
they've got a thing at a couple different schools with some of their athletes.
Yeah. So all I'm saying is Beats, like, headphones still matter. You saw it, Trip. What did every kid have around their neck? At
Everybody,
ACC kickoff?
every single one of them. I've got some Beats. I've got the little wireless buds. I'll be honest with you, though, the Apple earphones, they fit my ear a little bit better.
I've got Samsung. Oh, dude, I didn't even tell you guys this before Chris hops on. I don't know how this happens, but every now and then my Amazon account will default to my kid's teacher to the school. And so I lost an earbud. I have Samsung Galaxy FE headphones, like the earpods. I lost one in LA. I immediately get on my phone, order another one. It goes to my kid's school. So I call the school. because I get an alert that says my package is delivered. I was like, where's the package? I don't see a package. Then I realized it went to the school. So I have to call the school. I will tell you this, Hartzell, Trip, this is one of those things. It does help to be highly visible at your kid's school and to be well known at your kid's school. Because when I called the secretary receptionist, she was like, who am I speaking with? I was like, this is Michael Felder. I ordered a package. It went to my kid's first grade teacher. That's for me. And I messed up. She's like, hang on, let me look. So she gets up out of the desk, goes to the Amazon basically room that they have, because a lot of parents, I don't know if you guys do this, but a lot of parents just buy everything on Amazon and ship it straight to the school.
No, man, I don't. I mean, I'm sure that happens all the time. That ain't. I can't relate to that. No.
No, like school supplies.
No, I understand. Yeah, I understand.
So she goes, she finds a box. She's like, does it have like battery warnings on it? I was like, yeah. She opens it. She goes, what is supposed to be in here? And I said, Samsung Galaxy FE. And she was like, I've got it. I was like, I will be there tomorrow morning to pick it up. Drive to the school in the morning. Talk to the principal. Principal is like, let me see if I can find it. And I was like, it might be that box right there. And literally on the box it said, this is for Mr. Felder, his headphones.
You're a celebrity, man. Interesting week for South Carolina between the free beats from Lenora Sellers and them getting a new apparel deal. Apparently, they're going to be a Nike school starting in 2020.
Oh, good for them.
Good for them.
Good for them. Bad look for Under Armour, man. Click clack. They lose Auburn and South Carolina in back-to-back years.
Although South Carolina was not as bad as some of the other Under Armour Adidas schools. They weren't as bad.
It's never been the gear with. It's never been the apparel with Under Armour. The knock on them.
It's the shoes. Yeah, it's the shoes.
Whether it's basketball or football, the athletes just. They hate the shoes.
They hate the shoes.
And
yeah, it's the shoes.
Kind of a problem in this day and age when you've got to compete with Nike. Let's hit pause on the apparel talk because our man Chris is here. All right, as promised, we're going to talk some heavy SEC football. We got Chris Phillips here from SEC Unfiltered. Chris, thank you for taking the time, man. I know you got a lot going on. You guys are all over the place with the SEC coverage. And fortunately, or unfortunately, based on your perspective, we had some SEC news breaking on Thursday. We talked about it earlier. I read your comments on Twitter. I thought it was kind of funny because, yes, you could say, like, the SEC bent the knee to the Big Ten, right? But I think this is a good thing for college football if the SEC is playing 9 conference games in 2026. What's your take, man?
Stephen, first thing, I appreciate you having me on. Yeah, it's funny. I love those that can look at my Twitter and sometimes sense the sarcasm when I'm trying to obviously take a jab at somebody. So that for the Big Ten, that was definitely that. But no, it was. Listen, I wasn't surprised. First off of the news, I was at SEC Media Days in Atlanta about a month or so ago, and listening to Greg Sankey when he answered the questions regarding that topic. He came off to me as someone that sounded unsure. It wasn't exactly firm ground he was standing on from the standpoint of what the future of the scheduling was going to be. Heck, he was asked a couple minutes later about the 2026 schedule in particular, and he went back and said, well, it just kind of depends on which direction we go with this 8-game or 9-game conference schedule thing. So it kind of felt like after that it was a matter of when, never a matter of if. I think when the strength of schedule metric stuff came out from the College Football Playoff Committee, I think that was the green light that essentially told the SEC, hey, that tells us that if we've got a 9-3 team, or God forbid if we expand an 8-4 team that, meets certain metrics and the schedule they played is deemed worthy of their resume, is, gets them in, I think that gave the SEC the green light to say, okay, now we're ready to add that 9th conference game. Listen, from my perspective, and I'm sure you guys' perspective, everybody in this business that makes content and covers this sport, I mean, I love it from the standpoint of we get more good games. Like the schedule just got beefed up. There's another electric matchup that we get to cover. I think those that maybe I feel for, or, I mean, it is what it is, right? We're in the day and age, NIL, everybody's getting paid, whatever, just strap it up and go. But if you're a tier 2 or tier 3 SEC team, kind of that middle of the pack or lower third, I don't know how thrilled you are with this news, because teams that are used to going 9-3 or 8-4 every year, you're about to start seeing some 7-5s and 6-6s, and there's going to be a lot of teams adding a loss that I don't think are used to having that many losses. So I wasn't surprised by the news. I get why it happened. Stephen, I never like to see the SEC do anything the Big Ten wants them to do. So, I mean, it is what it is. Welcome to the new era of college football.
So we talked about this before you came on, and the big thing that we talked, and I think there's two sides of this coin, and I don't care, honestly. I don't, and you know what? Go ahead and put the E on there. I don't give a shit about the Big Ten SEC like whole. I don't care. The two sides of the coin that I see are whether it's, and you're in Nashville, so that means Vanderbilt every other year is going to get another SEC game, which means those folks are going to be excited. Every year in Athens, right? You've been to Athens. You know what Athens looks like when you get an SEC opponent versus when you get Mercer coming. You get, if you're in Baton Rouge, you get another SEC person to come. College Station, you get another. So that's a good thing. But the other side of that coin is we have there, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there are three very distinct teams that have to be very upset. South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida. Because if you kick off the season with Miami and you're Florida, you know you still got to play Florida State. Now you're adding another SEC team. So how do you think these guys are going to handle it? Because we mentioned it. Coaches were the kind of the ones that didn't want to do this. And I think when you lose Nick Saban as like your like power anchor, now all of a sudden they can kind of push something through. They're going to make more money. The towns are going to make more money. But if you're South Carolina and you got to open the season with Virginia Tech, and then you got to close that season with Clemson, and then you got to add another game in there, how do you think they feel?
Yeah, and I think it's interesting. You got to think about who the three permanent opponents are too, and it's not all built equally for everybody, right? Depending on who those natural rivals are. But yeah, Felder, you make a great point. I mean, you got to think those are going to go away, right? A lot of those home and homes that we have scheduled out in the future with, for example, South Carolina, Miami is one most notably.
Uh-huh.
I mean, you already have Clemson, right? Like, I don't know why, if you have two more non-conference games, are you going to play 11 Power 4 teams? I think I saw something, South Carolina, and actually, funny enough, Alabama, because I know they've gotten some criticism about their schedule in previous years. South Carolina and Alabama are the only two that are scheduled to play 11 Power 4 games every year until like 2035 because of the way they've scheduled out. I just don't see how that's going to hold up, though. I don't see it. Like you mentioned, like when you've already, in South Carolina's case, you've got to play a Clemson. Florida, you've already got to play a Florida State. I don't see those other big out-of-conference matchups holding up because strength of schedule metric be damned. It's still about wins and losses. And if you have so many losses, you're not going to get in the playoffs. So I think the committee showed us that last year.
But it's the money.
Right. The almighty dollar speaks louder than anything else. You are right.
Because we're talking about, like, you know, the what is it? The Chick-fil-A kickoff, right?
Yeah.
And the Duke's Mayo kickoff and all those things. Those aren't going away.
Yeah.
They're just going to have to, I guess they're going to have to figure out what they're going to do. And I think that's the part that's going to be pretty interesting.
Yeah. I mean, Shane Beamer, listen, he spoke on it yesterday, apparently, at the his coach's call-in show. And he said he was all for it. Play as many games, many competitive games you can. Again, it's one thing to say it, but it's another if the losses for whatever reason were to start piling up. It's you might start to change your tune a little bit.
All right, let's jump into some SEC prognostication, Chris. I mean, this is your lane, man. A week from now, like, we're going to be sitting here looking at this at the list of games that's coming. We will have already had Thursday night lights, but in the SEC, it doesn't get brighter than what they have on deck week one. Texas at Ohio State at noon. Obviously, LSU at Clemson at night. I believe that you guys are hitting the road. You guys are going to be at the Horseshoe for Texas,
Columbus,
Ohio State. How high are you on the Longhorns in terms of, like, preseason stuff? I know it's still August. Do you think it's Texas and everybody else, or is there anyone else in their weight class as you see it?
Well, I won't say it's Texas and everybody else because I need to see Texas. I need to see someone separate themselves. I think that's one of the big questions to be going in is, do we have an elite team? I think certainly Texas is in tier one, and they very well could be, by midpoint of the season, we could be looking at it from that manner of, it's the Horns and everyone else. But, I mean, I think, Stephen, when you have the questions they have up on the offensive line with 4 new starters, as high as I am on Arch Manning, he's still a new quarterback, new-ish, if you will. They replaced some guys in the back end of their defense. I believe it's 10 or 12 interceptions they lost from a season ago. So as much talent as they have, which they've got plenty of it. I mean, I think they might have the best defense in college football, best front seven at least. They've got their own questions, as does everybody else. I think it's – and I don't want to be that guy that's just saying something to say something or over-exaggerating, but, like, I think it could be the greatest season of SEC football we've ever seen because it just feels so wide open. I think it's going to be a really wacky year. I think you're going to see more what you saw last year with the upsets and what have you. But, yeah, it kicks off, Stephen, with week 1. Going to be a great slate. I will be headed to Columbus, Ohio. First time ever in Big Ten country for me. So this will be my first ever Big Ten venue. I can't think of a much better one to start off with than the Shoe. Heck, a week from today, you mentioned, we're going to be getting Auburn-Baylor. You talk about kicking off the weekend in a big way, high-pressure packed game. But, yeah, I think it's Texas, Alabama, Georgia, and I think LSU as well. I throw in that top 4, kind of that tier 1, and then maybe a slight gap. But, again, even I say that, I think there's going to be a team that emerges and rises up that we don't expect, maybe like an Oklahoma, maybe a Texas A&M, maybe a Florida. And there's probably going to be a team from that tier 1 that drops unexpectedly. Like, I think LSU is the most likely candidate because of some of their inconsistencies over the last couple of years and Garrett Nussmeier, some of his erratic play. I don't dare speak on the name of Georgia that way. I can't fathom seeing the Dogs not in the playoff. I don't want to give Kirby Smart any more motivation than he already needs. And then, yeah, I would say the 2 I'm highest on and 2 I have in my SEC title game, Alabama and Texas. And I've actually got Bama going 11-1. I'm buying the Ty Simpson stock early. I think he's a way better fit for what they do offensively with Grubb now being in the picture. And, I mean, guys, quarterback's the pick to click because everything else, they're loaded across the board. I mean, I think Bama, one of the best rosters in the country, all 3 levels of the defense. You got NFL dudes running around. I think Bama does beat Georgia in Athens. I had their 1 loss at South Carolina, ironically enough. I just think that's a perfect perfect storm, no pun intended, with the sandstorm down there. But Bama winning the SEC title, but I had Texas winning the national championship. So, yeah, I think by that point, Texas is clicking. Arch Manning, I think, will be one of the best quarterbacks in the conference. And, again, I think Texas, they kind of remind me of last year's Ohio State. It's just top to bottom. You could argue best roster in college football. I mean, they went out and spent like $35 or $40 million on it. So, certainly it's one of the best. And, yeah, it's going to be a fun year, man. Week 1, again, is going to set the tone. We got so many great matchups and cannot wait to get to Columbus. I'm sure there'll be a warm welcome for SEC folk like myself.
I am – look, I've made, like, no bones about it. I put all my chips in on Arch. Like, there are things – and people ask me why. And the reality for me is – I was sold. I love the fact that I got to see him run last year in game. So you're telling me you can get this combination of Peyton and Eli, but he could actually run. Okay, that's a good thing. And then I got sold when he went up to Wingo's, when he went up to the Lou and was like in it, like down, baby, you're shooting a Range Rover. And I was like, his teammates like him. They like him a lot. And he's like one of the dudes, one of the boys. And him hitting the gritty and like doing all, like, I'm like, this is one of the guys. And then I took a step back and correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, but this guy's been going to the Manning Passing Academy for his entire life. So he's been with quarterbacks from Johnny Manziel. Remember the debacle that was where Manziel missed, he got two turned up. But same thing with like Baker Mayfield and all. So he's been around all these guys his whole entire life, and he understands how to relate to players. So I'm all in on him. I think that Texas, I agree with you. I think that they're going to probably end up being in our national championship, which I think would be good as still essentially a newcomer to the SEC. But you mentioned guys that can bubble up, and because I have that in the Felder 5. And I put South Carolina, Florida. What do we expect out of Ole Miss?
Yeah, I'm actually higher on Ole Miss than some others. I've got them right around that 8-win mark. I actually had them right at 8 wins. I refuse to believe they're just going to completely fall off the map and go away.
Right.
I actually think it's interesting because nobody's been talking about Ole Miss or Missouri for that matter this preseason. Even though Ole Miss especially, you look at the predicted order of finish for whatever that means, and they're picked to finish, I think, like 7th. And, I mean, that would qualify them, in my opinion, as a college football playoff dark horse. I mean, you're kind of
Right.
knocking on the door. You know, you're an upset or two away from being in the picture and being in, but nobody's talking about them. I feel like there's kind of a course correction from last year where everybody was so high on them, put all their chips in on them. You fell short of the expectation. It's almost like now they're being punished a little bit. It's like, all right, well, you had your chance. I'm not going to buy in on you again. Let's just kind of pretend like they don't exist. I think Austin Simmons is going to be a star. I mean, he is. I got to see him in person last year. I know it was one drive, but I was at that game against Georgia where he just marched them right down the field, just sliced up Kirby's defense and led them to a touchdown. And, like, again, I know it was one drive, but you know, that was an important part of that game where obviously, right. I mean, Georgia, Ole Miss didn't do anything special. He just went out there and sliced them and diced them. So I love Caden Lee at the wide receiver position, what they added through the portal, a couple different guys. They picked up one of those top dudes from Penn State. I think at running back, they're going to be pretty good again. They've got questions on the offensive line. They're replacing a lot, no doubt. And then defensively is their big question. They lost some really big-time NFL dudes, but listen, I mean, it's a Pete Golding-led defense. I mean, and they've still got some playmakers. Suntarine Perkins in the middle of the defense, still going to be really good. Talking to them down there, like they feel like the defense will at least be able to carry their weight, if you will, to where it's not a complete liability. That's going to kind of control their ceiling for me, guys. But I'm kind of to a point where, you know, do I trust Lane Kiffin to go out and win the big game necessarily? Well, I mean, that's up for debate. But I trust him that he's risen the floor of this program significantly. I don't see Ole Miss just falling off a cliff. And I mean, who knows, guys? Like, you host LSU, I think it's week 4. You pull the upset there, and all of a sudden we're probably going to be having those hotty-totty to the college football playoff conversations yet again. So I think there's a path there for them. It's another workable schedule, guys. The one thing I know about Ole Miss is this. They're probably going to beat Kentucky by about 70 points in week 2. I think that's probably the one game, if they win this season, it'll be that one.
We're talking quarterbacks, Chris, as Felder's going to sneak in a bathroom break here, which is just fantastic. I'm curious your take on Gunnar Stockton. Like, Georgia had offensive issues last year. They could not run the ball. They could not catch the ball. They have gone out and fixed the wide receiver position in a big way. Like, if you didn't see what Zachariah Branch was doing in L.A. last year, like, he is going to light it up in Athens. But I feel like that's a fan base that's always been somewhat divided when it comes to the quarterback spot. And I'm hearing that some folks are out on Gunnar Stockton. Like, they don't think he's going to finish the season as the Georgia starter. What's your read on that?
Oh, that just sounds like more rat poison, Steven. It's just give me more bulletin board material for Kirby. I think that, no, it's – listen, there's reason to have some doubts, if you will. I mean, it's just what we don't know is what we don't know. That's the big thing. I think if you look back at the Notre Dame game, though, in the college football playoff, like I thought he played fairly well. He wasn't the reason they lost. I mean, they had some of those special teams blunders and some other things. I mean, you talk about the drops. I mean, who can forget Dylan Bell just dropping one right in the breadbasket that ultimately could have changed that game. You know, I think Gunnar Stockton's going to be solid. I don't have crazy high expectations of him. Not saying that in a bad way. Georgia's issue, Steven, is more can they run the football?
Yeah.
If they're in a situation like last year where they had to put it all on Carson Beck, if they got to put it all on Gunnar Stockton, I don't care who their quarterback was. If they're in that same situation, they are not going to have success. Here's the deal, though. No matter what you think about Gunnar Stockton, let's just keep this in perspective. Georgia went to the SEC title and won the SEC championship with average quarterback play at best. So, I mean, what does Gunnar really need to do? You know, like I think obviously he's going to have an improved wide receiver room. There's no question. I agree with you. Zachariah Branch is an absolute game changer. The kid they picked up for whatever reason, I'm not remember his name, the kid they picked up from Texas A&M, I think he's a difference maker. They are going to have Colby Young back, right? Dylan Bell is back, and I think he would better. I think at some point last year for Georgia's receiving room, Steven, it became mental. You got about halfway through the year, and guys that just normally are surefire dudes that catch the football, they for whatever reason, it spread like a pariah through the wide receiver room. So, listen, I love Gunnar Stockton's competitiveness. I love his toughness. Felder was talking about Arch Manning and the way his teammates love him. I mean, Gunnar Stockton's beloved in that quarterback room, right? He's beloved on that football team. Like You go out there in the SEC championship and you have a dude take your head off and you pop up like nothing happened, buddy. You just earned some respect in the locker room. Like you got 10 other guys that are going to go to war for you every single snap when you do something like that. So Georgia's so interesting, Stephen, because dare I say maybe we're underrating the Bulldogs. I don't know if that's possible, but it's just this foregone conclusion that it's Texas's season. They've got the best roster. They're the team to beat in the SEC. And who's that coming down the track? It's just Kirby Smart and Georgia yet again. And they're sitting there kind of looking around like, okay, like, yeah, this team couldn't beat us twice last year, but go ahead. Y'all can crown them. And, I mean, Stephen, think about this. Georgia, this is Kirby's on paper most talented team he's ever had. If you look at blue chip ratio, this is the best blue chip ratio they've ever had. So it's a bunch of unknowns. They don't have a bunch of household names. They don't have a bunch of stars. But, yeah, I think we're going to get to know the Dogs very, very quickly. Obviously, that game week 4, I believe it is, against Alabama is a massive one, right? If they go out there and beat the Crimson Tide, we're going to course correct ourselves really quickly and start having those conversations. And then obviously you get Texas at home later in the season. And, you know, we got to answer the question, does Texas have a Georgia problem? Kind of the way we talk about Georgia having a Bama problem. So, yeah, again, Georgia's a team that Gunnar Stockton will be really interesting. Yep. Love his mobility. Can he throw the changeup is a big question. Can he layer the football? Because we know he can throw it 100 miles an hour. He showed that last year. But I expect Georgia to be improved running the football and improved as a football team this year.
Well, the thing for me with Gunnar, and we talked about it with Arch, but like you mentioned, like, and I've brought this up too. When his top got popped, when his top popped off, and he didn't look at the ref, he just said, "Give me my helmet." Like, that's something that matters. And I mean, this kid's from what? He's from North Georgia. I think there's a lot of there's the Jake Fromm energy in there. There's the Stetson Bennett, or you just earn respect. And I don't think that Carson Beck had that. I don't think that he got that from them, or he earned it from them. If we're being honest, he was super talented.
Felder, you talk to people in Athens, and I mean, again, it's kind of like a breakup, right? Like after the fact, you some people like to dance on the grave of the ex. But
sure,
from people I've talked to, they all say Gunnar Stockton is the antithesis of what Carson Beck was.
Right, he drives a truck.
Right. And I mean, a lot of folks again that I've talked to that are really close to that Georgia program, they've said a lot of things about, you know, the leadership or lack thereof, the way getting along with teammates or lack thereof last year. At minimum, I don't know if it's going to equate to more wins, but definitely I think they are going to rally around their quarterback, I think, more than you saw a season ago.
Listen, man, you can move to Miami and then you get your Lambo and a Range Rover stolen and then get broken up with, and your girlfriend says nobody likes you.
Does it? Doesn't scream Athens.
No, not at all. And then your girlfriend says nobody likes you, and it's like, this is not good. Like, Trip, when we were at ACC kickoff, the players were like, it's like they got told, hey, you need to make sure that you say that you like Carson.
Sure. Well, some of the Miami guys mentioned he was very down to earth. And I said, it's hard not to be down to earth when you're riding around in a Lamborghini. You're literally sitting very low to the ground. I actually want to ask you about Garrett Nussmeier and LSU, because I think Garrett Nussmeier's really got a chance to be the best quarterback in that conference. I mean, some of the early, way too early mock drafts has Nussmeier's potential number 1 overall pick. But LSU defense obviously needs to make some strides this year. They've got a huge game to start the season against Clemson, but if anybody's due to win a season opener, it's Brian Kelly and LSU. What do you think about the Tigers?
Sure. I think someone has to win a season opener, and it's Brian Kelly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will admit, guys, week 1 is a time that I wish I could be in 2 places at once. I'm really excited to go to Columbus, obviously, but man, that game screams like Southern fried football to me. Like that is just Saturday night at Clemson, LSU coming to town under the lights. It's going to be absolutely electric. But yeah, you're right. They are the epitome of due in a season opener. Funny enough, guys, I actually went LSU. I kind of feel like when they zig, we zag, and I'm going out on a limb. But you're right. Like, at some point, they have to break through, it feels like, and win one of these. And it does start with Garrett Nussmeier. I mean, heck, LSU, though, as I say that, is another team like Georgia. No. It actually starts with the running game. Like, can they run the football?
Well,
that was one of the reasons last year Nussmeier, he was a turnover machine, I think. And I think he has to make strides and improvements. Hey, take care of the ball. You can't just put it in harm's way. But, guys, I believe he had the most passing attempts per game because they couldn't run it worth a lick. I mean,
I think that we're in this game, we're going to be looking at quarterbacks. It's like 2A, 2B. Because I love Cade and I love Garrett. So I do think the quarterback has to make the plays, but I agree with you on the run game. Clemson still has to figure out what they're going to do in the run game anyways.
Yeah, I think both sides. I mean, I think when we're talking about the winner of that LSU-Clemson game, again, it's not as sexy to talk about. We'd much rather be talking about the explosives down the field or what quarterback played better. But it's going to come down to line of scrimmage. I mean, it really is. Like I think you're going to be able to look back when that game is said and done and say, no, one team whipped the other up front, and that's why they won. So which will it be, LSU or Clemson? And listen, I mean, LSU going on the road, you got to face guys like Peter Woods and that front seven, and I mean that's daunting. That's daunting for a new offensive line. I think 4 new starters within that group, and then LSU. I mean, their interior defensive line, a little bit of a question for me. I love what they added in Pyburn and Peyton off the edges. I think Whit Weeks, the honky badger, is an absolute blast to watch. What does Harold Perkins do at the star position going to be interesting? And then they got a ton of questions, not because of a lack of talent, but it's a newness thing in the back end of the defense with so many transfer portal guys in their secondary, guys like Mansour Delane and A.J. Halsey and some Tamarcus Cooley, some others as well. So DJ Pickett, the freshman, I'm excited to watch. But, yeah, guys, I think that if I had to bet right now, I think that's going to be the best game of the weekend. I don't see how that game doesn't come down to the wire. Yeah, and just pick a storyline, right? I mean, what it means for Brian Kelly, what it means for Dabo Swinney. I think it's a bigger game for LSU and BK because I think even for Clemson, you lose week 1. You got to navigate through an ACC schedule. You do have South Carolina end of the year, but LSU's path, I think, will be much more difficult to navigate when you factor in, hey, you still got to go to Tuscaloosa. You still got to go to Oxford. You still got to host the Florida Gators. Like, there are many more pitfalls, I think, for LSU than Clemson. But that one's going to be electric. And, again, I just – everybody out there is going with Clemson, and that's why I was like, you know what? Give me LSU to find a way. I may be wrong yet again. I've picked them in many of these openers they've lost, but you're right. At some point, it feels like they got to break through.
Chris, I'm gonna let you go on this one because this has been great. I could do this all day, and I know you do this for a living, which is not a bad way to go about your 9 to 5. What SEC team are you most worried about? Because fan bases are sitting here at the end of August and they're talking themselves into like, man, if we can get this one, we can go 8-4, we can go 9-3. But when you look at Auburn, South Carolina, Florida, Arkansas, A&M, like some of these teams that are trying to convince themselves that they're a CFP contender or a fringe, threat in this league, who are you most concerned about?
Well, Stephen, I think there's levels to the question you just asked because you mentioned some teams like, for example, a Florida or South Carolina, and then you mentioned like an Arkansas. I'm worried about those for different reasons, right?
Is DJ Lagway healthy?
Per what they tell me, yes. But then again, I'm talking to a bunch of Gators last week, and they're telling me, yeah, he probably only plays one drive in the season opener against Long Island. I'm like, one drive? I mean, I know it's Long Island, but like, can we get the kid some in-game reps? So I think he's healthy. I mean, we've seen video of him out at practice working around. I'm sure they're not going to push him at all in the opener because they could roll out any of us 4 at quarterback and probably beat Long Island by 50. I'd be down to do it too, but not that it's going to happen. But yeah, I mean, I don't think you see much of game 1. But that's the big question, Felder. I mean, listen, if you told me right now DJ Lagway goes throughout this entire season, not even 100% healthy, let's just say like 90% plus healthy enough to go out there on a weekly basis. We all know, right, by the midpoint of season, nobody's 100% healthy. But you know what I mean. You know what I mean, though. Like, he's good enough to go every week. I probably add a win to my Florida projection I put out there. I had them at 8-4. I probably move it to 9-3, but I just can't trust it. I don't know. I mean, it's I don't want to call the guy injury prone, but at some point, I don't know. I just got to see it, Yep. I'm definitely worried about Arkansas. I think this is it for Sam Pittman. I hate to say it, but I just don't think they've got the personnel to compete on a weekly basis. I love Taylon Green.
Same.
He's a guy that can just change a game in an instant. He can make big plays. Year 2 of Bobby Petrino in the offensive system. Again, I just don't think around him they've got enough, and I think defensively they lost some big pieces. Well, I love Xavier Sawyer on the defensive side, but I just don't think they have enough. So I think this will be it for Pittman. Probably the team I'm worried about. I mean, I'm worried about Auburn from the standpoint I can't trust Hugh Freeze as far as I could throw him. I do think they beat Baylor in the opener, but I tell you this, I got PTSD. We've already done our breakdown of that game. I got PTSD talking about that game and previewing it because it took me back to last year where I'm like, I am banking on Auburn to win a close game. And they showed last year all the DNA traits say, and this is a new group, so we'll see, but all the DNA traits say they're going to get to the end and blow it. So that's what I mean, if they can win games late, if Jackson Arnold can be that answer, if Hugh Freeze or whoever's calling the plays on 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th down can figure it out, then, I think Auburn, it's easy to fall in love with the roster. I'm worried about South Carolina too, admittedly. I think the hype on them is a little much. I think they're a little bit overrated, if I'm being totally honest. I think Lenoris Sellers is all world. I think he's an awesome player. I mean, he does so many things you can't coach. He might be the best football player in the entire conference, really, truly. I think there's a debate. But again, just what is around him is what gives me concern. The offensive line was not good last year, right?
They lost a lot to the NFL draft.
Lost a ton on defense, 6 of the top 7 in their front 7. They still have talent coming back, but guys, I'm sorry, you lose a guy that won the Nagurski Award in Kyle Kennard. You are going to feel the effects of that, right?
Yes.
You lose Nicky Manwari in the back end of the defense. Again, they still have a lot of talent. Don't get me wrong. Offensively, who is supporting Lenoris Sellers? They need this Razul Faison kid to get his eligibility. I hope the NCAA comes through with that. But
yeah, that's been a nightmare.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck waiting on them to figure that out. You lose your top pass catcher from last year in Joshua Simon. In slides Michael Smith at tight end. He's a good option. He was a highly rated recruit, but just an unknown. And then at receiver, I hope it works out for Nick Arbor. I really do. I really do. He put the track stuff aside. He's focused on football, but do they really have a true number 1 SEC caliber number 1? I don't know. I just don't know. So how can Lenoris Sellers carry this thing on a weekly basis? Because the schedule's a gauntlet yet again. So and guys, I think you keep in perspective, winning 9 or 10 games in a season, it ain't happened a whole lot in Columbia over their 100+ year history. So you got to, and again, does that matter for this year? Maybe not, but keeping some context. I'm a little worried because what's around him. But then again, they're one of those teams, talk about boom or bust, if things click around Sellers. When you got a quarterback like him, you got a shot to win every game. So, yeah, it's guys, it's going to be a fun, wacky year. I think you're going to see upsets galore like you saw last season. I've been catching a lot of grief from fan bases because of some games that I've been picking where they're like, how could this team lose to this team? I'm like, I don't know, man. How could Alabama beat Georgia and then lose to Vanderbilt? You riddle me that. You know what I mean? So, I think it's going to be another great year for us.
I'm excited about Vanderbilt football, man. I know we didn't talk about it.
Hey, don't sleep on Bobby Yaga, Diego Pavia now. Come on.
That's a fun team. Anyway, Chris, enjoy it, man. Thank you for hopping on with us. Safe travels up to the Horseshoe next week. Columbus is a fun town. Those fans are gonna give you a hard time, but they're built different up there. Like that,
I expect nothing less.
Trip.
I'm looking forward to it, man. No, I appreciate you guys anytime, man. Love to chat. Like I said, we were talking off air, man. I was listening to you guys way back in the day before I even started my ventures, and you never know who's listening. It was definitely an inspiration for me to chase it and get after it. So I appreciate y'all.
Well, Felder was like 80, 90 pounds heavier back in those days, man. He's like
you look good, Felder. You look really good.
I'm trying my best, man.
Lean and mean. Chris Phillips with SEC Unfiltered. Appreciate the time, my man. Enjoy the season. I know you will.
Guys, y'all as well. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate
y'all. Thank you.
That was great. It was really good. So there you go. I mean, storylines abound in the SEC. There are teams that we did not talk about because some of them are just, Kentucky and Mississippi State are in for a long year. I think Tennessee's going to slip back. I think they're going to regress.
Maybe.
Do you think they're going to be better?
I don't know. It seemed like, out of everything we've heard about their quarterback from last season, it doesn't seem like anybody really liked him too much. So,
right, that's why he's not there anymore.
If they're going the Gunner Stockton route, with a
Well,
guy
Joey
that everybody
Aguilar's the
likes.
guy.
We'll see.
Joey Aguilar's the guy.
Yes, I know.
It's more a matter of can that offense resume what it used to look like? I'm not saying that the league has caught on to what Coach Heupel's doing offensively, but we saw this last year. If you're not picking up first downs, like if you're not able to get into a rhythm, which after you got through September, like Tennessee was just they were sputtering on offense. That offense is ineffective. Like it's built around tempo, pace. If you're going 3 and out, you're cooked. Like that.
Yeah, because
they had a great defense last year too.
Yeah, defense was outstanding. Sure.
Yeah, but it's like this is the thing, and I think about this, and I go back to Larry Fedora when he was at UNC, right? If you have a 45-second 3 and out, that's bad. That's bad for your defense. It's bad for your offense. Like, that's a reality, though. Like, and what we saw with Tennessee many times is when they do that space and pace, is that what they call it? Because that's what I call it, space and pace.
I like it.
Space and pace, if you miss one of these wide throws, receiver drops the ball, defender makes a play, any of those things, that's 7 seconds.
Right.
And then you do it again, maybe that's 10 seconds. So we're at 17 seconds. And it's 3rd and 10, and you're like, damn.
Got to go back out there.
What are we going to do? It's 3rd and 10. And then you miss another one, and then you punt. Like, it's hard. You got to. I think for them, the run game with Bishop is going to be critical. I think they have to figure it out. I think they need some action out of the quarterback too, like in terms of running and moving. Because we talked about it with Nico, right? Like, he was okay, but he wasn't an actual runner. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and they miss. You talk about the running back, Samson Simpson. I stick by my story. Guy rushed for like 1,500 yards last year.
Yeah, he's what they
touchdowns.
Right. That's what you have to have.
He saved them last year.
Yeah,
and
they went to the playoff, right?
Yeah. Briefly.
Yeah,
they made the trip.
It was a short stay.
They made the trip to Columbus. They were cannon fodder for Ohio State, much like everybody else was that had to play the Buckeyes in the CFP. But
no, it was good. And Chris,
I will give you a team, and if you guys feel free to throw one out there as well. A team that I like in the SEC that nobody's talking about is A&M.
Okay.
And when I say nobody, it's all relative. Everybody in College Station in the state of people are talking about A&M, but they're not talking about them like they are Alabama, Texas, Georgia, LSU. A&M was a game away from playing in the SEC championship last year. And I'm not just talking about the Texas game. They had the South Carolina game that they lost. They had the Auburn game that they lost. I mean, they limped home. But Marcel Reed, I like that dude, Felder.
Yep.
I like that dude a lot. They're loaded at running back. They have an incredible offensive line, like one of the best offensive lines in the country. And Mike Elko, unlike a lot of these football coaches in the league, that guy just coaches, man. He doesn't care. That guy's not goofing around on social media. He's not pulling a Lane Kiffin. Like, he's just that guy is a football coach. That's it. That's all he does. Watch out for A&M this year.
Schedule's not bad either.
By the way, they straight up poached Concepcion.
KC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From
NC State, man. Come on.
Buddy.
Come on.
You got to go to Notre Dame on September 13th, but I don't really see how they're not at least 4-1 at the worst going into the game against Florida. But Florida, that game's in College Station.
Yeah.
Arkansas after that, that's probably a win. They've got a workable schedule.
Yeah.
Here's the thing that I will say, and I'm glad you brought up that Mike Elko just coaches football. he will not do what so many coaches do. I don't know if you guys know this. When you go play at Notre Dame, there are a lot of coaches who grew up like in the golden era of Notre Dame, where there was like Era Preseason or
Lou Holtz.
Like they grew up during that time, and they want their team to get this like experience.
Right.
I think Mike Elko is going to treat it like a business trip. You don't get wrapped up in the what the fuck do they call it? The echoes or whatever.
Wake up the echoes.
Yeah, you don't get caught up in that.
Felder, there's touchdown Jesus. He's right there. I see.
Yeah, no, you don't. I think Mike Elko does not care about that.
Right.
I think this is going to be two football coaches coaching football because I love Marcus Freeman.
Yeah, what's not to love? Yeah.
And I think everybody's wife also probably loves Marcus Freeman.
He's a handsome guy.
Yeah, he's good looking.
It's undeniable.
Good looking.
So I just think that Mike Elko is going to treat it like a business trip. You go up there and you go out and you pull out a win. Because I think Marcel Reed Reed. Well, who did we talk to? CJ Bailey from NC State, right, Trip?
Yeah. I
think those dudes got juice.
You know, it's funny you mentioned CJ Bailey. We're going to be sitting here next week because Felder Fridays are back.
Yeah.
Like we tape this show on Friday morning every week. That will not change.
No.
We are going to be sitting here next week, potentially talking about NC State stubbing their toe at home against ECU.
Big favorite. Kind of like 12, 13, something like that.
That's an aggressive number.
Yeah.
That is, by the way, for folks that don't know, we all live in the state of North Carolina. Okay,
yes.
This is a national show in terms of its reach, but we all live in the state. Felder has ECU connections. His parents went there.
Yeah.
If you live in the state of North Carolina, you know how big of a deal this game is. We're not going to get a chance to preview it because next week the game's played on Thursday night. It will have already finished.
Yeah.
That is one of the most expensive tickets of week one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, Texas, Ohio State, it's not cheap to go. LSU, Clemson, not cheap to get into. The cheapest price you can get for Carter Finley Stadium, ECU, NC State, it's like $175, dude. Place is going to be packed.
It's going to be a zoo.
Too, by the way.
It will be a zoo.
There'll be 20,000 ECU fans there, right? 20,000?
Yeah. And I don't know for people that don't know this, the Carter Finley is like basically right next to the state fairgrounds.
Yeah.
It is the state. Yeah. Yeah. The parking lot.
The parking lot's the state fairgrounds. That's where they tailgate at. And there are, I will say this, 3 football schools in North Carolina. NC State, who they tailgate, they go hard. ECU and App State. No order, just those are the 3. And you get 2 of them together. And I'm telling you, like, folks don't realize ECU does not play, man. Like, their fans don't, like, they don't play. Like, I mean, do you remember when they beat Larry Fedora's ass to put 70 on him? JMU did the same thing, so
yes,
yeah.
They did. Yes, they did. But this is a nasty rivalry.
It is.
They threw hands at the Military Bowl last year. That's
yes,
how
they did.
The season ECU beat them. You mentioned CJ Bailey at NC State. I'm excited to watch him. He's a good player. I'm sure.
Sure. Do you remember what CJ Bailey said?
I mean, he should take a look at the NBA if football doesn't work out for him. He's a tall man.
We're Trip and I. We're sitting at the table. CJ Bailey walks up and he's like towering over me, and I said, "Dang, you really are 6'6", and he goes 6'7".
6'7".
That's like Taylor Green at Arkansas. Same thing.
Yeah.
Like,
is he that tall too?
Dude, Taylor Green is a monster.
Wow.
Like, I shook that dude's hand.
But they're both thin.
He was like tickling my elbow. I'm like, damn. Like, you are.
Yeah. We didn't take as much video of it, but I was doing hands with the players. So he got some big hands. CJ Bailey got some big hands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, I joke about this because, our job is, our job. Like, it's a podcast. We're talking about football, but like this weekend is the appetizer.
It's
to
a
next
soft
week's main course.
It's a soft open. right?
It is. It's friends and family. That's right. We just want to stress test the restaurant before we open it up to the public.
Yeah. So I'm going to say this. Chris hit on like multiple things that are already in the Felder 5. Do you want to just run through these?
I gave you homework for a reason, buddy.
Yeah. So we talked about sellers in the beats already. That's 5. 4, who bubbles up? And Chris mentioned South Carolina. We mentioned Florida. The Florida conundrum with DJ Lagway. Like the idea that he only plays one series is wild.
He'll be fine.
I want him to be actually healthy. Not fine, healthy.
Soft guys don't get healthy.
My problem.
They're always hurt.
My problem with Florida is it's not the week 1 or week 2 schedule, although people are like, watch out for USF. That schedule, you have to go to LSU. You have to go to Texas A&M. You've got Jacksonville every year with the cocktail party. Florida State will be better. You got to go to Ole Miss.
They can't get worse.
They host
Damn right they
Texas.
will be.
They host Texas. Like, you're playing Texas again. Cool that it's at the Swamp, but you still have to face Texas, the preseason number 1 team. It's a loaded schedule. It's just that's a tough road.
So that was 4. 3, Bama getting further from Saban. Like I just don't. I guess I don't understand. Like I don't understand the Ty Simpson hype. And
you shouldn't. There shouldn't be any.
I also think that they had one of the biggest losses in the country in losing Jalen Milroe.
Some people think that was addition by subtraction.
I mean, I don't know, man. And we talked about this. What was it, last week with Roddy? And like, I think communication and leadership matter so much when you're dealing with these young men. It builds this cohesive, this bond, but this cohesion that you have to get what's required to win. And so when I saw Jalen Milroe do stuff that he learned under Coach Saban, I just don't know if they're going to still have that. This commanding presence, right? Like, would anyone argue that Jalen Milroe was a commanding presence?
Sure, I think so. Yeah.
When I watch this guy sprint to the tunnel and dap up every player and say, "Come on, guys, we got this. We got this." Like, to me, that's some leadership. Was he the perfect quarterback? No, but he was a great bridge between DeBoer and Saban.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, some people think that the reason Jalen Milroe was the starter last year is because DeBoer was going to lose a lot more guys if he wasn't named the starter.
Sure.
So I don't know if that really says anything for Ty Simpson either. But
I think
I coached DeBoer. I think they'll be really good this year.
Yeah. All right. 2, dogs on top? Question mark.
I love their schedule. I mean, they host
I know
Texas.
you're scheduled guy.
Well, the SEC, you're playing everybody you played last year. You're just swapping home and away. So instead of going to Bama and going to Texas, both of them come to Athens this year.
Absolutely.
That's significant. I love who they have at wide receiver. Like, Zachariah Branch is a stud.
Branch is good. Give me Ryan Williams, but yeah.
I mean, come on. I'm not going to fight you on Ryan Williams, okay? He's great too. You know the last time Georgia had a 1,000-yard wide receiver?
You know when the last time they should have had a 1,000-yard wide receiver?
Well, it had to be like McConkey or Brock Bowers, right?
No.
No, neither one?
No.
Wow.
This is an incredible stat. Everybody wants to talk about how bad Georgia didn't run the ball last year, and that's true. They were 15th in the league. There's only 16 teams. 15th.
Yeah, they were not good running
in rushing last year. Georgia hasn't had a 1,000-yard wide receiver.
Oh, God, I want to think of it before you say it so bad.
You're not going to. Terrence Edwards in 2002.
You're joking. Wow.
Like,
bro, they had fucking George Pickens.
They had A.J. Green. Okay.
It's insane.
Green.
Like, they have had some guys.
So we're talking. Here's the thing, though. When you bring up A.J. Green, I bring up George Pickens. Those are 2 completely separate coaching staffs.
Yes.
And they
It has to work. Like it has to. That's why I'm you talk about like Gunnar Stockton in the locker room and how everybody's got his back. Okay, that's great.
Yeah, he
But if this
hasn't shown
offense isn't
anything.
clicking early,
It's
just
not
wonder.
about clicking. That's the problem. It's about not doing. Like, I think those are different things. Like, remember, go back, what is it, 4, 5 years? When I was very mad that, like, George Pickens wasn't even a starter. They would not list him as a starter. That's a Kirby Smart problem. Not a wide receiver problem, not an offense clicking problem. That's a coach problem who didn't want to give this freshman what he was clearly their best wide receiver as soon as he stepped on campus, and they would not give him the football. Doesn't make any sense.
I think there's a lot of, George Pickens runs a little hot. I mean, I don't know. I watched Hard Knocks last year. They did like an in-season thing, and how many times Mike Tomlin would just have to kind of grab him on the sidelines and, coddle him a little bit. He's a high-strung guy.
He's a certified crash out.
Okay.
But he
is talented. No doubt about that.
Oh, do you remember when he threw that Georgia Tech player into the wall?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
And then last season, he just grabbed the guy. He took 2 fingers, grabbed the guy by his face mask, and just slammed him into the ground. Like, yes, he's a certified crash out. Also, one of the best wide receivers.
Noah Thomas is the A&M guy that Georgia brought in as well. So you get Colby Young back from suspension, Noah Thomas, Zachariah Branch.
Branch is good. I like Branch.
A lot of weapons.
Yeah, but you got to use them.
I understand. That's my point. Like,
I know you're a gun guy.
Am I?
Your wife's a gun lady.
We have a safe at the house.
Yeah,
we've invested in a safe.
If you keep, like, you have a lot of weapons, but if you just keep them locked up in there, you never use them, which is what Georgia does with their wide receivers. They're in a safe.
Well, look, it's Marshall and Austin P the first 2 weeks, so we're not going to. I mean, everybody's going to be rolling in the first 2 weeks. But then you got to go to Tennessee.
No. What you should be doing in the first 2 weeks in games that you're going to win is you should be testing out all of your weapons.
Well, let's see. Let's see it.
You should. Like, they're going to run the ball for 400 yards. The receivers are going to have 2 catches each, and then that's it. Instead, what you should be doing, and this is I'm very passionate about this.
We can tell. Yeah.
I think in those games, you should do the things that are the hardest for you. You have a brand new quarterback, correct?
Yeah.
Why don't you get him passing reps in game to throw the ball? Chris mentioned it already, right? With DJ Lagway only maybe playing 1 series.
Yeah.
Why don't we like, come on, man, let's kick the tires.
Well, probably. I think the whole Lagway thing.
I don't think he's healthy.
15 years ago, they would not do that. But now that we're giving teams mulligans in college football, because that's what we've turned it into, you can play them for one.
But what I'm saying is, when I look at like when I take my kid bowling, right? I'm going to beat her anyways, no matter what. So I start to work on other stuff. Because I'm a roll, like, if I'm focused in, locked in against someone like that matters, like if it's me and my brother and my dad.
You breaking 200?
I have and will. Yes.
Okay.
I think the whole Felder squad is, though, right?
Yeah, we're all very good bowlers.
They're rolling the rock in the Felder house.
Like, literally, like, when I was in an adult bowling league right before I met my wife. My average was 187. So don't play for me. And that's not with a handicap. I actually was a alternate in another league, And I really, truly, like, really messed up this lady's handicap because I rolled a 212 and she was rolling 97s. And then they were like, well, we got to change this. But what I'm saying is, if I go bowling with my kid, I'm going to work on the spin, right? I might bowl with my right hand. All this stuff that I'm not, because I'm left-handed, all the stuff I'm not good at, I'm going to try it. And if you're not good at passing the football and your quarterback doesn't have a ton of experience and your offensive line's got a bunch of new guys,
air it out.
Why don't we work on pass protection, wide receivers route running, and the quarterback? We know that we can get it in the run game. We'll figure it out. We know that, because you're not going to figure it out against Marshall in terms of the run game. You're bigger, you're faster, you're stronger. But let's work on the precision part of our game. And when it's time to get heavy, we get heavy. I don't understand how that's not how people think. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, that's the way that you work on the things that you need to, because when you get into the back end of that schedule, I don't care if you're hosting Texas, I don't care if you're hosting Alabama, that's great, it's fantastic, right? You do your whole Athens shit. But at some point in the game, Stockton's going to have to make a play, and he's got to know who he can count on, and that starts now. That starts next weekend. And
You know what else starts next weekend?
What?
The 3-for-all, and that's my dog.
Okay.
And I'm saying this right now. The Georgia Marshall game is on my short list. Marshall has like 20 returning lettermen, not starters, guys who have been in the program. They lost like 90 dudes. And they got to go between the hedges to open up the season against an angry Georgia team. That it's like a huge line trip. It's like 39.
They can't be that angry.
I'm just saying it's on my board. Next week we're bringing back the 3-for-all, which is when Tripp and I go head to head with against the spread selections.
Okay.
And that's my dog.
Still need to pay up on some bets, both ways, but you have to do it first.
Just a quick, yes. I have to caddy for Tripp, and then Tripp has to caddy for me. Felder, you were the best at picking upsets last year. You went 10. You went 10-9. And that's my dog. You edged Tripp. He went 9-8, and we all know how the 3-for-all went. Tripp he couldn't get it done. He could not go back to back as the ATS champ on CSN.
You cut the season a little short on me.
If it was,
I was starting to heat up.
Picking games into January, but if it was easy, everybody would do it. That's
I was starting to heat up.
It's not.
And you shut me off.
Point. It's not easy. At Locks of the Dock on Twitter, there might be some selections getting released.
There
Saturday.
might be.
Okay.
Might be an official pick out there for you.
So if you're into that sort of thing, at Locks of the Dock on Twitter. Are you on Blue Sky yet, Tripp?
No, I'm not. But people, go watch the Phil Steele show. Also, we're on.
It's 10:30.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
I've got it hard out. I'm so
tough.
Got such a busy
Tripp
schedule.
does have a hard out. We're gonna wrap too. Thank you guys for listening. It's week 0. Enjoy these games. Don't empty the clip. Like it's 5 games. Okay.
Yeah.
Next week you got Thursday night, Friday night.
Yep.
Saturday all day. Sunday there's 2 games. Monday you get to see Felder's alma mater on national TV. Chapel Bill, baby.
Chapel Bill.
Home underdog against TCU.
Yeah.
Pace yourself, okay? Enjoy the weekend's games. It's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you to Chris Phillips from SEC Unfiltered for joining us. Felder, I'll see you in the 919 in a couple hours.
Yeah, I'll see you in a few hours, my man.
Way to bring it, guys. Thank you guys for listening. Enjoy the weekend. We'll talk to you soon.